Yes, forcing your heating fuel distributor to buy clean heat credits that the Public Utility Commission can issue in unlimited quantities to heat pump installers, weatherizers, and other favored businesses and homeowners that are doing something that reduces carbon dioxide emissions will drive up the price of that fuel. And who will pay the higher price? You will, if you use heating oil, propane, or natural gas. The senators now admit what I've been saying since early February. This is John McClory. Thanks for listening.
Benjamin Moore paints offer long-lasting protection, beauty, and will enhance the value of your home. This is Dean Shedd at the Country Home Center. We only sell premium products, and we only offer premium service. The two go hand in hand. For years, we've chosen Benjamin Moore paint as our premium paint line. Professional painters also choose Benjamin Moore paints for the best results. Come see all the amazing colors and products in our Benjamin Moore paint department at the Country Home Center, junctions of Route 15 and 100, Morrisville, Vermont, or online at countryhomecenter.net.
Hi, my name is Sarah Rowan, and I'm a registered nurse and home care clinical manager at Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice. April is Occupational Therapy Month, and I am honored to recognize and celebrate CVHHH's incredible occupational therapists. Emil Parmalee, Laura Murphy, Wendy Watson, Tammy Cote, and Jackie LaCroix. CVHHH's occupational therapists are skilled, licensed clinicians who support Central Vermonters to be able to do activities of daily living. Things like cooking, eating, bathing, and dressing safely and comfortably at home. CVHHH's OTs are creative, think-outside-the-box problem solvers who provide essential care and support to our clients. Join me in celebrating CVHHH's occupational therapy team. Thank you for all that you do on behalf of Central Vermonters. Happy OT Month.
Do you have chronic joint pain, like in your knees and hips? It's time to think about an exciting new way to treat joint pain with biologic therapies, regenerative solutions. I'm talking about QC Kinetics, now available here. Lots of people here have called QC Kinetics already. They are the nation's leader in helping people deal with chronic pain with no surgery, no drugs, no steroids, and no downtime. These natural pain treatments can actually repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints with long-lasting results. I'm telling you, biologic solutions help your body heal itself. If you have joint pain due to arthritis, lower back pain, shoulder pain, you need to change the way you think about pain treatments and discover the biologic therapies at QC Kinetics. Get moving again, get your life back with no surgery and no drugs. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more. 802-PAINLESS. That's 802-PAINLESS.
Hi, everyone. This is Jess Langlois.
And Chief Meteorologist Dan Dowling.
From the Channel 3 Max Advantage Weather Team, reminding you that every day we are tracking the weather and getting you the most accurate forecast.
From the most experienced weather team tonight from 4 to 7 and at 11 p.m.
We forecast with straight talk and no hype.
So you can take advantage of the clear days.
And have the advantage over stormy weather.
There's a 100% chance of accurate, experienced, and trusted forecast.
Tonight and every night from the Channel 3 Max Advantage Weather Team.
First in weather.
The Brady Farkas Show is produced and funded by WDEV and the Radio Vermont Group. We welcome listener feedback. Email your comments to wdev@radiovermont.com.
The teams you care about.
The Patriots are now closer to the bottom of the AFC than the top. That's a fact.
The stories that matter to you.
Trevor Story, man, he makes the Red Sox much, much better in 2022.
This is your home for New England sports.
I'm just wondering what happens next for UVA, because I think there could be a lot of turnover on that roster.
This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
What's up, everybody? Brady Farkas Show on a short Tuesday on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. 'Tis the season now for some of these short shows. It won't be every night, but we've got one tonight. We're up until 6:10. First Red Sox night game at Fenway Park. Our coverage 6:10, first pitch 7:10. Nathan Eovaldi on the mound. Sox and Blue Jays, a huge early season test for the Red Sox going up against their division rivals. We'll have the lineups for you at about 6:05. We got some good stuff on Malcolm Butler being back in New England. James Paxton, Red Sox pitcher, wants to work in Vermont. We'll tell you that story. We'll get into all of it here over the next 40 minutes. You can get in, as always, on the Napa Morrisville, Napa Waterbury text line, your locally owned Napa stores in Waterbury and Morrisville. Also, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and my Twitter Live account as well. Everybody, Lego.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And here we go.
The opening thoughts on the Brady Farkas Show are brought to you by Sticks and Stuff and by Swanton Lumber, Vermont's most complete locally owned home center. Locations in Enosburg, Derby, Middlesex, St. Albans, and at Swanton Lumber. They're online at sticksandstuff.com. Game 2 of the Celtics-Nets series is coming up on Wednesday night, but let's examine today what people are saying about Kyrie Irving after his Game 1 antics. Reminder, Kyrie flipped the bird at the Celtics crowd. He also was caught saying some, not very nice things on camera on his way to the locker room also. Kyrie has been fined $50,000 by the NBA for some of these antics. And by the way, we told you that's exactly what would happen. I believe it's the max amount he can be fined under the collective bargaining agreement. So we called it. It happened. Now we move on. But the Kyrie storyline and the stench from it is still, leaving stuff in its wake. So we got a lot of prominent people in basketball saying a lot of things on Kyrie. So let's just get right to it. How about former Celtics big man Kendrick Perkins?
You know what's crazy is that how much now I'm starting to actually love Kyrie Irving and the person that he is. I mean, from what we were 2 years ago, I thought he was weird. I thought he was different. And then all of a sudden I took a step back, and now all of a sudden this guy has really grown on me over the last year and a half far as how he approaches things and his mindset. See, that mindset I love. I love that he don't mind being alone and standing alone, or being in the atmosphere and embracing it and fighting back.
See, that's an interesting comment, and I think it's fair to look at Kyrie through this lens. Kyrie Irving is great for a lot of different aspects of basketball. He is great for a lot of different people. The real question is he great for whatever team he is on? And there is a big difference there. Let's examine it. Kyrie Irving is great overall for basketball. As I have said for weeks, sports is better with villains. The late 80s Pistons were villains. The Legion of Boom Seahawks and Richard Sherman, they were villains. LeBron's been a villain. Kobe was a villain at times. Durant has been a villain. Bryce Harper in baseball has been a villain. Aaron Rodgers has been a villain. Sports are better with characters. And for every great character like Giannis, there is an equally unlikable character like Kyrie. Okay? Not every character in sports is likable. They can be great characters, but they're not necessarily likable. Kyrie is interesting. He's confrontational. In some ways, to Perkins' point, he's courageous. He runs counter. That villain quality that he has makes for great theater and great drama, and it drives conversations about basketball. So, yes, Kyrie Irving is a villain. He's a great villain, and overall, he's great for the NBA. He's also great for us here in the media. As I just said, Kyrie Irving drives conversation. Radio shows and TV shows, they do entire shows just on Kyrie, and people remain interested in the subject matter. There are some days, say a little behind the curtains here, there are some days in this business where there's just not a lot to talk about. On days where Kyrie Irving is involved, there's almost always a lot to talk about. He is a godsend for us here in the media. So being a villain, he's great for the league. Being interesting, he's great for us in the media. And Kyrie is great for the fans in a lot of ways also, considering he's so darn good. He is a true artist out there. I've never seen anybody quite like Kyrie Irving. So if you're a fan of seeing greatness, if you're a fan of seeing things that you've never seen before, then Kyrie is good for you too. He is great for a lot of people. But the big question remains, is Kyrie Irving actually great for the team that he's on? Perk says he loves the guy that Kyrie is. The guy that Kyrie is good for almost everybody. I don't think he's good for the Brooklyn Nets. His greatness, does it outweigh the stuff that happens with him off the court right now? I'd say ultimately not, and that ultimately is what matters most. The Nets could have been a 1 seed. Instead, they're a 7, in large part because of decisions that Kyrie Irving made. The Boston Celtics with Kyrie could have been an NBA championship contender. Instead, Kyrie Irving divided and ruined the locker room. The Cleveland Cavaliers could have had a dynasty after LeBron came back and they beat the Warriors, but instead, Kyrie wanted out. Everywhere Kyrie has been, he has left problems, or problems have found the organization. Kyrie Irving is great, but he's not necessarily great for whatever team that he's playing for. I had a co-host once, like a long time ago, right when I first got into the business, who said there's the hotness to crazy scale. Right? And you all know this. You're dating a girl, you're dating a guy, and however hot you think they are dictates the level of crazy that you're willing to tolerate. Kyrie Irving, you'll dictate a lot of crazy from him. But at some point, no matter how hot they are, the craziness outweighs it. And for me, we're there with Kyrie Irving. No matter how good he is, Perk says he loves him. That's great. You can love him from afar. I can love him from afar in a lot of ways. But when you're actually in it, he tips the hot crazy scale. Okay, he may be a 9. The craziness is now a 9.5. He may be a 10. The craziness is an 11. It's just too much. So when Perk says he loves him, that's great. You're looking at it from afar. The fans often look at it from afar. The viewers on TV look at it from afar. The media looks at it from afar. He's great for a lot of them. He's not great for the team he's actually playing for. Cleveland could have had something undeniably special with him and LeBron. He chose not to. The Celtics could have had something special with a young Jason Tatum, a young Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, and Kyrie Irving elected to ruin it. And then the Nets, they could have something special too. And Kyrie, he made a decision, which he's allowed to make. But problem has found the teams that Kyrie Irving is on or that Kyrie Irving has left. It's the Brady Farkas Show here on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Stephen A. Smith of ESPN, he said this on Kyrie.
I support Kyrie Irving on this. I don't think he did anything wrong, personally. I know he's going to get fined, and I understand that the league has to fine him because there's a level of decorum and professionalism that they expect from their professionals, even though they're subjected to an alarming level of hostility. But I also want to say this. Do I condone the Boston fans going at him with some of the venom and hostility that they have spewed? No.
That's exactly what I said yesterday. I pretty much said that word for word. I agree with Kyrie Irving a lot of what he said. I agree with him being upset at the treatment that he gets. I don't think it's right what athletes go through. I don't think that all athletes are soft. I don't think that they're all coddled or pampered in this regard. I think it is warranted to eventually get to your breaking point. Now, Kyrie did bring a lot of the ill will on himself with Boston fans, but that doesn't mean it's fair for him to take actual verbal abuse. He shouldn't have responded as he did. That's why he got the fine, and the fine was fair. But I believe Kyrie Irving is in the right to be upset and to be bothered by what has been said to him in Boston. And I'm sure it's not just Boston. This happens everywhere to athletes, and it's not right anywhere. Okay, there's playful ribbing. There's hard booing. There's, hey, you stink. That's all fine. The things that get said that are personal against these guys, we'd all hit our breaking point too. So I'm with Kyrie on that. I'm with Stephen A on that. I don't condone how some Boston fans act. I understand Kyrie being upset by all of this. I understand athletes who are speaking out now about fan behavior. The problem I have with Kyrie is that what he said over the weekend was hypocritical. Don't tell me it's bothersome on one hand and then tell me it's fuel for the fire on the other. It cannot be both. It bothers you or it's all fun and games. But I'm with Stephen A. and Kyrie in this front that, what athletes go through is not fair. Just because you're paid a lot of money does not mean that you have to take awful treatment. Finally, Jay Williams, ESPN Radio, former NBA point guard, played at Duke just like Kyrie did. He had this to say.
I don't look at Kyrie Irving as a role model for my kids. That's me as a parent, right? And so when I see all this stuff online, this guy, great role model. I'm like, well, how about the guys who are yelling the crazy stuff behind Kyrie with kids in front of him too? Like, exactly. So I get the middle finger that Kyrie maybe that to some people that goes too far. But if people weren't engaging in that and that gets him to a place where he drops 39, then let him do his Kyrie Irving thing.
Okay, a lot to unpack there. Jay Williams is right that like parents should be role models, right? The guy who is dropping awful language at Kyrie, that guy should be better also. It shouldn't fall only on Kyrie to be a better human. Kyrie did this and my kids saw it. Well, the guy who's guzzled 10 beers and is dropping F-bombs at him, that guy also needs to be a better role model. So, okay, everybody in this situation needs to be more of a grown-up and needs to be better. If we're all worried about the example that's being set for kids and what kids are seeing and hearing, what kids are seeing and hearing in the crowd is just as bad or worse than what Kyrie Irving did the other day. I got thinking about it too, though. Should Kyrie Irving have to be a role model? We talk about, players being heroes, athletes being heroes, etc. Should Kyrie Irving have to be a role model? Kyrie Irving is, a different guy. There are some cases where Kyrie has not been that great a guy. Should Kyrie have to be a role model? My first thought was, no, he doesn't. That was my first thought. He's there to play basketball. And if he's a good guy or a bad guy, well, that's just his prerogative. And you as a parent should be a good enough role model for your own kid that Kyrie doesn't have to be. That was my first thought. But the more I thought about it, I think that Kyrie does have to be a good role model. I still understand why he's upset. I still understand where his energy comes from when it comes to the fans on Sunday. He should not have done what he did, but I get why he is upset. But when you are paid as much money as Kyrie Irving is, you have to be a positive ambassador for your organization. And that involves doing things the right way. Giving the finger to the crowd isn't that. His frustration is warranted. His frustration is justified. But there are better ways of bettering the situation. Russell Westbrook gets a ridiculous amount of grief. We've heard him talk about it. We heard him talk about it this year multiple times as a member of the Lakers. Do you ever see Russell Westbrook acting in this manner? Russell Westbrook articulates it well to the media. He gets his point out, and then he moves on. If you're Kyrie Irving, you've got to be the same way. You make so much money that if your frustration is there, and it's real, and it should be, it's justified. If that's how you feel, find a healthier way to better the situation. You don't have to be the guy that everybody worships and looks up to, but you have to be a positive member of your organization, a positive ambassador of your organization. And on Sunday, Kyrie wasn't that. The fans were in the wrong too. Kyrie does have to be more, he does have to act in a more stately manner as a guy who, again, look, I don't need him to be a hero to every 10-year-old out there, but a positive ambassador for the organization, that comes with the paycheck that he has. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. All right, Malcolm Butler says that he doesn't want to talk about his Patriots Super Bowl benching. That's fine. I still need a very critical question answered, though. I'll tell you what that is. That's next on DEV.
Are you looking for a way to help your neighbors and others in your community? Are you 55 or older, living at or below the federal poverty level? Can you commit to volunteering 10 to 12 hours a week? Senior Companion volunteers form meaningful relationships with 5 or 6 people who want companionship and support. Deep friendships often result from the adventures that are embarked upon once you are matched with a senior. Our senior companions tell us that they look forward to their visits as much, if not more, than the folks they are matched with. They love what they do. Helping people feels good. They say they are not just friends, but feel like family. For more information about becoming a senior companion volunteer, please call the Senior Helpline at 1-800-642-5119.
Hey, it's Alexandra Montgomery.
And Dom Amato from Channel 3 this morning.
Start your day off with us from 4:30 a.m. till 7 a.m. tomorrow.
We're kicking off your day with what happened overnight
and what's going to happen for the rest of the day.
So you know the most answers to today's questions before you get started.
And the biggest question for most people is the weather. Right, Gare?
Yep. Gary Sadowski here. I'm working to give you the maximum advantage to prepare you for whatever Mother Nature throws at us.
News, weather, and sports.
Getting the answers to start your day is what we do best.
Channel 3 News.
First in news.
Dealing with your business insurance can be a real pain. It's complicated. All the paperwork is super confusing. It's time consuming. Don't want to deal with it? Not your cup of tea? Yep, you guessed it. Time to call Noyle. You do you, we'll do your insurance. At Noyle Johnson Insurance, you can trust us to get the right coverage at the best price possible. All we need is a chance to show you what we can do. Call Noyle. We'll make it easy, we'll make it fast, and we'll make it worth your while. Noyle Johnson Insurance, 802-223-7735.
Hi, everyone. This is Jess Langlois.
And Chief Meteorologist Dan Dowling
from the Channel 3 Max Advantage Weather Team, reminding you that every day we are tracking the weather and getting you the most accurate forecast.
From the most experienced weather team tonight from 4 to 7 and at 11 p.m.
We forecast with straight talk and no hype.
So you can take advantage of the clear days
and have the advantage over stormy weather.
There's a 100% chance of accurate, experienced, and trusted forecast
tonight and every night from the Channel 3 Max Advantage Weather Team.
First in weather.
Congratulations to Arliss Spalding of Bethel, our latest winner in WDEV's Fairness to Fans contest. Our next drawing is Thursday, April 28th. You can win tickets to see the Sox take on the Chicago White Sox at Fenway Park. To enter, fill out the entry form at WDEVradio.com. Then tune in during the midday news service sports. If we call your name, you'll have 5 minutes and 50 seconds to call in and win. The LaRue Brothers Transmissions Fairness to Fans machine only on WDEV. Think you know sports better than Brady does? Text in with your thoughts at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in, Brady Farkas Show here on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. 20 minutes away from Red Sox baseball, Sox and Blue Jays. We'll have the coverage for you at 6:10. First pitch is 7:10. We'll have the lineups for you a couple of minutes beforehand as well. Malcolm Butler, the former Patriots Super Bowl hero, has re-signed with the organization. He met with the media yesterday. He says he's not going to talk about his Super Bowl benching against the Philadelphia Eagles. Here was Butler in his own words.
No, I ain't got too much to say about that, man. I'm living in the past. I'm trying to live in the present. You can't think about the past all the time. So, I move forward from that. I know it'll always be there, but I haven't said anything to anybody about anything. So, man, you're going to have to keep doing your research or whatever you got to do, because I'm here for the Patriots and I'm here to be peaceful.
I've got to know what happened with Malcolm Butler's Super Bowl benching, but maybe not for the reasons that a lot of you want to know because of. A lot of you, I'm assuming, want to know what happened so you can finally get closure on that Pats Super Bowl loss to the Eagles. I want to know what happened so I know who to praise in this reunion. Am I supposed to be praising Malcolm Butler or Bill Belichick? Because if Malcolm Butler did something to warrant his benching, something that hurt the team, then I have to praise Bill Belichick for being open to giving a guy a second chance and for bringing him back. But if it's the other way, if Bill Belichick benched Malcolm Butler for no reason at all, and in the process hurt Butler's reputation and hurt the team, then I need to give Malcolm Butler praise for giving the Patriots and giving Belichick a second chance. I've got to know what happened so I know who I'm praising here, because something happened. I don't know what it was. Nobody knows what it was. I remember rumors of a drug thing for Butler a couple of years ago. I saw a thing today. Did Malcolm Butler have an undisclosed head injury? I've seen all kinds of theories on what happened, and we've never gotten the answer. Are we praising Belichick for giving Butler a second chance, or are we praising Butler for giving Belichick a second chance? That's the thing that I've got to know. My gut, 100% speculative, my gut is that Belichick did Malcolm Butler wrong. That's my gut. The things that Butler said yesterday point to that very cryptically. You've really got to do a deep dive on Butler's words and parse them out to come to that conclusion. And I admittedly did just that. Here was Butler more on kind of his return.
I didn't expect to come back to New England, but I always, had respect for the New England Patriots, Mr. Kraft, Jonathan Kraft, Bill Belichick. And one thing I learned, man, you never burn your bridges down. You
never burn your bridges down. What does that mean? Generally, when people burn bridges, at least in the context that I think Butler's talking about, they are usually the ones who feel wronged, right? You've been screwed, and you want to go and tell somebody off or do something or blow the whistle, something that then gets back at that other person. Butler says, I didn't want to burn bridges. I learned to never burn my bridges. Well, if he was in a position to burn bridges, then he probably is the one who was offended by something, right? Like, I lost a job once, and I didn't want to lose the job at the time, and I thought that I got screwed in losing the job. I could have told off the people that, took the job away from me, could have blown the whistle, could have gone to this, that, or the other to make them look bad to get even. I decided not to because I didn't want to burn my bridges. I got to believe that Malcolm Butler feels like he was done wrong here, and he had a chance to go public with what happened. He had a chance to send a shot at the Patriots. He had a chance to send a shot at Belichick, but he said, no, I don't want to burn my bridges. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. If Butler was the offending party, I don't think that he would be talking about burning bridges. He would have just hey, okay, kind of walk away from it. But clearly, if he was going to burn bridges, then we're talking about something happening to him that was emotional. I may be going way down the rabbit hole, but that is how I read that. He says, I didn't want to burn these bridges. AKA, I bit my tongue. I didn't say what I really wanted to. I didn't say what I really felt because you did something to me. That was number one. And then number two, he said at the very end, I think it's this one. Listen to this.
I started working out immediately because I knew it could be a possibility that I can return.
All right, that's not it. It got to be, it's this one, the end of this one.
Research or whatever you got to do, because I'm here for the Patriots and I'm here to be peaceful.
I'm here to be peaceful. I'm here to be peaceful. That, again, points to me that he is the one who is wronged. He is the one who was angry. Because if he had committed the offense, he'd probably be kind of sheepish. He'd probably be here to make amends. But when you say you're here to be peaceful, that means that you're the one who is mad. Okay? Think about, like, I'm trying to think of a real life scenario, right? Let's just say you go to lunch with an ex-girlfriend, and that ex-girlfriend cheated on you. You're the one who is angry. When you go to that meeting, you have two very different things going on. The ex-girlfriend who cheated on you, her reaction is, well, okay, I'm going to come with my tail between my legs. I'm feeling sheepish. I'm going to let them have their moment, let them say what they want, and then hopefully we move forward. If you come into that meeting as the one who has been cheated on, you are angry. You are offended. You have rage within your heart. But when you say, I'm here to be peaceful, you are saying you are not going to bring any of that to the table. You see what I'm saying? So when Malcolm Butler says, I'm just here to be peaceful, he's telling you that I am not going to let the drama, I am not here to bring about the bad vibes, I am not here to air my dirty laundry, I'm not here to say the emotional things that I've wanted to say. So my gut tells me that Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl benching against the Eagles, that he is the one who was done wrong and that Bill Belichick is the guy at fault here. So in my mind, kudos to Malcolm Butler for taking Bill Belichick back, for being open-minded. I understand there's a desperation here. Malcolm Butler is 32. I don't know how many other options he had. He may not wanted to come back to New England, and this might have been the only chance. But kudos to him for being big enough, in my opinion, to come back to a place where he probably has a lasting scar from. I'm here to be peaceful. I didn't want to burn bridges. I don't in my mind, I read that as I don't want to bring out the emotion that I've been holding in. I'm going to keep it held in. He says he hasn't told anybody what happened. Kudos to him for that too, because if I were done wrong, I would have a harder time trying to bottle it all up. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Reminder, when the show is over, we'll have the full show podcast available. I also spoke to former UVM Hoops coach Tom Brennan today. Short show, so not on the air, but we did put it up already on our podcast channel. Just go find it on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. We will get the national news update from CBS News, and then we'll come back. We'll be 5 minutes away from Red Sox baseball. We'll give you the Sox lineups for Game 1 against the Blue Jays. And does one Sox pitcher want to work in the offseason in the great state of Vermont? The answer is yes. I'll tell you who and what they want to do. That's next, right here on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, WDEVradio.com, and always streaming on the free, 100% free, WDEV radio app.
This is WDEV, Vermont's news station, owned and operated by the Radio Vermont Group. From the top of Sugarbush, 96.1 FM, WDEV Warren and Waitsfield, 96.5 W243 Barrie, 98.3 W252 CU Montpelier, along with our founding station, AM 550 WDEV Waterbury Montpelier, streaming at WDEVradio.com. 90 years of serving Vermont, the friendly pioneer, WDEV.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Dell Small Business.
I'm Matt Piper in New York. Mask confusion on public transit. Though airline customers are free to still wear masks if they choose to do so, passengers will not be required to mask up on many carriers for the first time in years. Same goes in the back of Ubers and Lyfts. This woman's at Orlando's airport.
Time to get rid of them.
If so, why are you still wearing yours?
Because I honestly thought we still had to.
I'm Stephen Portnoy. When President Biden was asked whether people should still wear masks on planes, he answered,
"That's up to them."
Earlier on Air Force One, his press secretary, Jen Psaki, said she's seen the videos of people on planes cheering. when they've been told they can take their masks off.
We don't make these decisions based on politics or based on the political whims on a plane or even in a poll.
Reporters on board the president's plane were told they should follow the CDC guidance and keep their masks on.
The pandemic could be the reason that prices are going up for those looking to be a homeowner.
A survey by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York concludes the price of homes is going up, and it's dividing people into two groups, those who can buy and those who can't.
We're at the point now where the gap in home ownership is at its highest that we've seen in a century.
Jason Richardson is with the National Community Reinvestment Coalition. He says the gap, which proportionately hurts minorities the most, will get worse.
Every year, that home ownership gap gets wider, so does the wealth gap.
Steve Futterman, CBS News.
There is word the Biden administration will announce another large military aid package for Ukraine. Russia says it started a spring offensive to capture control of eastern Ukraine. CBS's Natalie Brand.
Russia's goal is to capture the Donbas region, where fighting has been underway for 8 years, as well as the besieged city of Mariupol. Ukrainian fighters have been pushed back to a steel factory in the port city. Russia says it will enact a ceasefire to allow the soldiers to leave, but the Ukrainians are still fighting.
An independent autopsy confirms that Patrick Loyola was shot in the back of the head by a Michigan police officer while face down on the ground. The shooting happened earlier this month. The official autopsy report has not yet been released to the public. Get ready for summer travel. AAA says data it's been looking at shows reservations for flights, rental cars, cruises, and hotels over this Memorial Day weekend is up 122% over last year. Ellen Edmonds is with the travel group.
People just really are looking for a change of scenery. They want to get out a little bit, maybe get away from home. And, even despite higher gas prices and inflation and things like that.
She says the best time to purchase a flight for the holiday is 2 weeks before. The Dow gained 554. This is CBS News.
Technologies advisors are here with the right Windows PC and tech solutions so you can stop at nothing for your customers. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DEL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Hi, I'm Yvonne from VSECU, a credit union for everybody in Vermont. I think people will be surprised that VSECU offers loans for more than just new and used cars. We finance all types of recreational vehicles, including bikes. Bicycle commuting is popular in Vermont. Mountain, cargo, or electric bikes. We've developed a special financing program to meet the needs of enthusiasts and conscientious people who'd rather transport themselves with dual pedals. You can rely on VSECU when visiting a car dealership and when you're at a local bike shop. Get pre-approved or just come see us after your purchase and we'll finance your new mode of transportation. Finding ways to empower our members who are contributing to their health, local communities, and the well-being of our environment is just another reason why we exist. Make change simply by banking with VSECU. Let's empower possibilities together at VSECU.com.
Federally insured by the NCUA.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PC and tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DEL. That's 877-ASK-DEL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Carrie, can you make sure it is cleaned up?
Restaurant Week has Sanjay's tables jam-packed.
Can somebody please refill the...
He needs more servers to keep these new customers coming back.
Let's keep these tables turning as fast as possible, okay? Gonna need to hustle.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Your chance to be part of the show is on the text line at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
5 minutes away from Red Sox baseball, Sox and Blue Jays game one from Fenway Park. Red Sox made a couple of roster moves today, and It's a result of another COVID issue. So yesterday it was Kevin Plawecki going on the COVID injured list. Today it's Christian Vasquez and Jonathan Arauz. Coming back to Boston is the reliever Tyler Danish and the outfielder Rob Refsnyder. So they replace Arauz and Vasquez. Now, no one seems to really know the COVID rules at this point, but I believe that these guys can get back quickly. I think 5 days is the standard that you'll really hear for how long guys are out. But the bigger news, one, hope everyone's okay. Two, from a baseball standpoint, the Red Sox are now out both of their catchers. Plawecki out, Vasquez out. So the youngster Connor Wong is up. He came up yesterday. There's nobody behind him. So I don't know what would happen if anything were to happen to Connor Wong. And this is just kind of another reminder that COVID is not over. As much as we want it to be, as much as we feel like it is, as much as sports feels normal, it's not 100% normal. And here you are in a game with a really good hitting team and a guy who throws 98 miles an hour on the mound for you and Nathan Eovaldi, and you have a rookie catcher catching. That's a tough game for him to catch against that lineup, and then a tough pitcher for him to physically catch with this kind of stuff in Nathan Eovaldi. So not a good situation for the Red Sox heading into tonight. Connor Wong will start, just a handful of big league games under his belt. Did you catch this nugget yesterday from Rob Bradford of WEEI talking about James Paxton? Remember James Paxton, the lefty pitcher, rehabbing from Tommy John surgery?
There's two things he feels confident in. Number one, he feels confident that he should be the ambassador for the maple syrup industry in Vermont.
Which he wants to be an ambassador for the maple syrup industry in Vermont. This is great. Paxton's from Canada. His nickname is the Big Maple, so that's kind of the tie-in there with the maple syrup industry. We did a little legwork on this. We sent the clip over to Anson Tebbets at the Department of Agriculture. We said, let's set it up. He responded on Twitter. He said, sounds like a perfect pairing. So we just may end up with the Big Maple, James Paxton, doing something with the Vermont Agency of Tourism, Department of Agriculture. I don't know. It's out of my hands at this point. But I did what I could. I made the intro between Rob Bradford's clip and Anson Tebbets with the Department of Agriculture, our friend here at WDEV. We'll see what happens. Maybe the Big Maple, maybe he could make an appearance here in the state of Vermont and, work on his maple syrup. I want to hear his 4-point plan to even better the maple syrup industry in the state. Okay, lineup time for the first time on the Brady Farkas Show this year. Let's get it. The Red Sox are 5-5. The Blue Jays are 6-4, and they are many people's World Series favorites out of the American League. The pitching matchup, Nathan Eovaldi 1-0 with a 4.50 ERA. Yusei Kikuchi 0-1 with a 5.40 for the Jays. Lineup for Toronto, George Springer leads off in center. Bo Bichette is at shortstop. Vlad Guerrero Jr. has already got 5 homers. He hits third. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is in left field. Zach Collins is the designated hitter. Matt Chapman, the former A, plays third. Alejandro Kirk does the catching. Ramel Tapia is in right. They acquired him from the Rockies. And Santiago Espinal is the second baseman. He bats ninth. He's got 4 RBIs and 2 steals. For the Sox, Kike Hernandez hitting just 163 is in center. Trevor Story's up near the top of the lineup today, hitting second, playing second. Rafael Devers is at third. Xander Bogaerts, now red hot, is at shortstop, batting cleanup. JD Martinez is the 5 hitter. He's at DH. Alex Verdugo, 3 homers, 8 RBIs. That leads the team. He's in left. Bobby Dahlbeck's back after a day off, batting 7th at first. Christian Arroyo is in right field. He bats 8th. And Connor Wong, the aforementioned catcher, bats 9th. And he is the battery mate for Eovaldi. That will do it for us here on the Brady Farkas Show. Go check out the podcast, again, on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. You can also check it out at WDEVradio.com. Same deal. Back at it tomorrow on DEV. Go Sox.
This is the World Champions of Baseball, the Red Sox Network.